In this class, today we are going to see how to give the naming of organic compounds by IUPAC nomenclature. Now before that, we need to understand what is meant by organic compounds. The compounds which are made up of from carbon, all those compounds are known as carbon compounds as well as organic compounds. And those organic compounds, how to give the naming and how to draw the structure of those organic compounds we'll see in this class. Now we know that what is the atomic number of carbon, that is 4, and what is the valency of carbon, that is also 4. That's why we are saying carbon is a tetravalent. Tetra means 4 and the valent means its valency. Carbon is having 4 valency, that's why we are saying carbon is a tetravalent element. Now carbon is having capacity to form a different compounds with different element as well as with carbon also, and its unique property of formation of different types of compounds with bonding with carbon only. That's why carbon is having capacity to form a different or many types of compounds, and those all compounds are known as organic compounds. Now how to give the naming of these organic compounds we'll see. Let's start with the word root. It is the name corresponding to number of carbon atom in the longest chain of carbon atom in the organic compound. For example, if we are taking organic compound, first what we need to do, how many carbon atoms are present in that compound, we need to count that. For example, if in any organic compound only one carbon atom is there, then we are using the word root name, that is a methyl. In any organic compound 2 carbon atoms are there, then we are using it as a word root name. If 3 are there, prop. If 4 are there, but. If 5 are there, pent. In this way we are using the word root names depending on the how many number of carbon atoms are present in that organic compound. This is the base but very important thing which we are using during the time when we are giving naming to the organic compounds. To determine the word root, we need to learn the table given alongside. To determine the name of any organic compound, you should learn the naming of these word roots. See, naming of organic compound, some students feel very tough, but actually it is not tough. And never learn the name of organic compounds, but instead of learning the name of organic compounds, you all should learn the rules how to give the naming of organic compound. Then it is easy to give the naming for any type of compound which will come in your exam. This is the first step, that is to remember the word root names, the compound in which how many number of carbon atoms are there. Depending on that we are using these word roots. Now we learn about that depending on the number of carbon atoms we are using one name, that is known as word root, but depending on their type of bonds which word we are using we'll see. Now let us come to the primary suffix. It indicates the nature of the carbon atom chain selected. Only single bonds between carbon atoms. If any carbon compound is there, in that, in all those carbon atoms, if single bond is there, then we are saying those all are saturated organic compounds. And if in any organic compound double or triple bonds are there, then we are saying those are the unsaturated carbon compounds. Now the saturated carbon compounds in which single bond is there, for all those we are using suffix "ane", that is ANE, in front of that word root. Okay, for example, in any carbon atom, for example in any compound 2 carbon atoms are there, then the word root name is eth and single bond is present. That's why we are using suffix "ane" in front of that eth. That's why the name of carbon compound in which 2 carbons are there, that is the ethane. Eth and the suffix "ane", that is the name of that compound is ethane. we'll see some more examples. If in any compound 3 carbon atoms are there, what is the word root name for 3 carbon containing compound? That is pro. And if single bond is present in all the carbon atom, then suffix is the same, that is N. That's why the carbon compound in which 3 carbon atoms are there and single bond is there, then the name of that compound is propane. That's why the complete name is a propane. I hope you must have understood these basic things. Now, presence of double bond between carbon atoms, presence of triple bond between carbon atoms, these types of compounds are known as unsaturated carbon compounds. Now, for these carbon compounds, we are using which type of suffix fields? The carbon compound in which double bond is there, then we are using suffix "ine", and if triple bond is there, we are using suffix "ine". Now see, the carbon compound in which 2 carbon atoms are there, we know that what is the word root name? Eth. But if double bond is present in between those 2 carbon atoms, then we are using suffix "ine". That's why the name of that compound in which 2 carbon atoms are there and double bond is present in between them, then the name of that compound is ethene. Now we'll see third type, that is 2 carbon atoms are there but triple bond is present in between 2 carbon atom. Then the word root name is same, that is eth, but because of triple bond we are using suffix "ine", and that's why the name of compound is ethyne. Means depending on the number of carbon atom as well as the bond which is present in between them, we are giving the name of their compound, and this is the basic thing we are using during the time of giving name of any organic compound. We learn that if double bond is there, then we are using suffix "ine", and if triple bond is present in any organic compound, we are using suffix "ine". But if both are present, double and triple bond, then how to give the naming for that compound? We'll see. But what if both double and triple bonds are present between the carbon atoms? See here, one compound is given. Now, in this carbon compound, both double as well as triple bond is present. That's why what we are doing? We are using both "ine" and "ine" during the time of giving name of that compound are written, but "ine" comes before "ine". Now see how to give the naming of this compound. Here 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. In this carbon compound, how many carbon atoms are there? 6, and that's why the word root name is a "hex". Now double bond is present at first carbon atom, that's why 1, and when double bond is there we are using suffix "ine", that's why hex 1-ene. Next what we are doing, that is 5-ine. Why 5-ine? Because at 5th carbon atom there is a triple bond present, and that's why 5-ine. In this way, this is the name of compound. I hope you must have understood. If both double and triple bonds are present in any compound, that time what we are doing, initially we are writing "ine" and then we are using "ine" suffix in that compound. Next, let us now concentrate on the secondary suffix. Before this, we learned about the primary suffix. This is a word that defines the family or functional group in the organic compound. The various functional groups with their corresponding suffixes are. Now, what is meant by functional group? Functional group are those groups or group of atoms which decides the property of the organic compound. The group of atoms which completely decides the properties of organic compound, that is known as a functional group. The various functional groups with their corresponding suffixes are COOH is a functional group, and the name of that is a carboxylic acids. For carboxylic acids, we are using suffix "oic acid". If COOR, this is a functional group, is present in any compound, those compounds are known as ester, And for those compounds during the time of giving name we are using suffix OH. How to give the naming we'll see afterwards in detail. If COOH functional group is there, then those compounds are known as acyl halides, and for that suffix we are using oil halide. You should learn this thing so that it will help during the time of giving name of different compounds. Here also some examples of functional groups are given, and what are the name of those compounds in which these functional groups are there, and for those which suffixes we are using. For example, CONH2, the compound in which this group is present, those are known as acid amide, and for those we are using suffix amide. CN, that is nitriles group, and for those we are using suffix nitrile. CHO group containing compounds are known as aldehyde, and for those we are using suffix al. CO group containing compounds are known as ketones, and for those we are using on is a suffix. Same like that, all these are the different types of functional groups, and these are the naming of those compounds, and these suffixes we are using for those organic compounds. Thus the compound CH3CH2CH2OH is a propanol. See how the name is given to this compound, we'll see. Now in this compound how many carbon atoms are there? 1, 2 and 3. That's why the word root name is a prop. Second step, what we are observing, that is which type of bond is present in between these carbon atoms. Ane is the primary suffix we use because single bond is present in all the carbon atom. That's why propane is the name of this compound. Now next see, OH functional group is also present here, which decide the property of that compound. And when hydroxyl group is present, then which suffix we are using? See here, all suffix we are using. That's why prop plus ane plus all, and the complete name of this above compound is a propanol. Since the secondary suffix begins with a vowel, that is O, and the E of ane is removed. Here when we are writing the name, what we are doing? We are removing this E from the propane and then writing prop plus ane plus all, that is propanol. Removing this E, we are attaching there O. I hope you must have understood this. Let us now come to what we call as prefix. As the word indicates, it means something which is fixed, attached before or at the beginning. Hence, a prefix is written before the word root. These are also of two types, primary prefix and secondary prefix. The word which we are using before any word, those are known as prefix, and those are two types, that is primary prefix and secondary prefix. Here in this chart, functional group and which prefix we are using for that is given. COOH group, for that we are using carboxy as a prefix. SO3H, for that we are using sulfo prefix. COOR, for that we are using alkoxy carbonyl prefix. In this way we are using the prefixes for all these functional groups. We'll see one example, that is thus a compound. Here this compound is given. First what we are doing, how many carbon atoms are there? 1, 2, 3 and 4. Which functional group is present here? OH, that is hydroxyl functional group is here. For hydroxyl group, what prefix we are using? Hydroxy. How many number of carbon atoms are present in this compound? 4. That's why what is the carbon root name? Bute. Now next step, how many? Next, that is which type of bond is present in between these carbon atoms? Only single. That's why we are using suffix ane in front of carbon root name. Carbon root name is a bute, and that's why single bond is there. That's why suffix ane we are using. That's why the name of this compound basic name is a butane. Now we'll see next thing which functional groups are there. OH, word root, but, primary suffix n. Now secondary suffix all we are using because of presence of this hydroxyl group. Now prefix chloro we are using because here chloro group is attached to one carbon atom. Now what is this chloro? The group which is present outside the chain is known as a substituent. This is a carbon chain. This is the longest carbon chain. And this is group which is present outside this chain. Then we are saying this is a substituent. And chlorine is substituent here. For substituent we are using different names. And how to give the names for substituent, that also we'll learn. Here chlorine is a substituent, and for that we are using chloro bond. Here prefix chloro we are using. Now this chloro group is attached to the which number of carbon? Third carbon atom. Why third? Because we are started to counting from functional group, not from this side. How to give the numbering of carbon atom, that also we'll learn. Here chlorine attached to third carbon atom, that's why 3-chloro, butane 1 or. OH group is attached to first carbon atom, that's why 1 or. I hope you must have understood. Just we learn about the primary prefix. Next to that we'll see secondary prefix. Certain group in organic chemistry are written as prefixes. They are regarded as substituents. This group along with their prefixes are as follows. Substituent, that is fluorine, chlorine, bromine, iodine, methyl, ethyl. There are different types of substituents are there. For those we are using different prefixes. If fluorine substituent is there, we are using fluoro is a prefix. Chlorine is there, chloro. Bromine is there, bromo. Iodine is there, iodo prefixes we are using. In this way, for different substituent, we are using different prefixes. How to use that, we'll see. Here also some names of the substituents are given, and for those which prefixes we are using, that also given. You should learn this basic thing so that it will help you to giving naming to organic compounds. Note that the word root will come after the prefix. Thus the compound. In this compound, how many carbon atoms are there? 1, 2, 3, 4. And this chlorine is a substituent. Now what precaution we need to take? We are writing the name of substituent before the name of compound. Note that the word root will come after the prefix. Means what they want to say? The name of substituent we are writing as a prefix for the name of compound. Here the substituent is chloro, and which is attached to second carbon atom. That's why 2-chloro. And the name of compound is a butane because 4 carbon atoms are there, and in between all these carbon atoms only single bond is there. That's why butane, and substituent is attached to second carbon atom. That's why the name of compound is a 2-chlorobutane. Next we'll see different classes of organic compounds. Hydrocarbons, saturated hydrocarbons. Now first we need to understand what is meant by hydrocarbon. Hydrocarbons are those compounds in which only carbon and hydrogens are present, or the compound in which only carbon and hydrogens are present are known as hydrocarbons. Now these hydrocarbons are also divided into two types, that is saturated hydrocarbons and unsaturated hydrocarbons, depending on the type of bond present in between the carbon. First type, that is alkanes. In saturated hydrocarbon, first is the alkanes. Now what is the general formula for this alkane? Is a CnH2n plus 2. And for that we are using suffix "-ane". These are the organic compound which contain only carbon-carbon single bond. The carbon compound in which only single bond is there, those all carbon compounds are known as a saturated hydrocarbons. And For those, we are using "ane" is a suffix in front of the carbon root name. According to IUPAC system, these are named as alkanes. According to IUPAC system, the carbon root name is a alk and suffix "ane." That's why those saturated compounds collectively known as alkanes. And its general formula CnH2n plus 2. Various members of the series are given below. See here, CH4 compound is given. In this only one carbon atom is there and single bond is there. That's why methane. Methane is the name of compound. In second compound, two carbon atoms are there and single bond is present in between these two carbon atoms. That's why ethane and the name of compound is ethane. Third also three carbon atoms are there, single bond is present in between them. That's why propane and the name of compound is propane. In this way, the IUPAC name of different compounds and common names are also given here. Next important thing, that is alkyl radical or alkyl group we are saying. General formula for alkyl group is a CnH2n plus 1. Suffix, that is "il" we are using here. Alkyl group contains only one hydrogen atom less than the alkane. For example, methane. In that what happens? One carbon is there and four hydrogens are there. And what is given here? One hydrogen only less in alkyl group. Now instead of CH4, if CH3 is there, that is a alkyl group. And the name of that alkyl group is a methyl. "Il" suffix we are using and one hydrogen is less than the alkane. The alkyl group is named by substituting the suffix "ane" of the name of corresponding alkane by "il." For example, here CH4, methane becomes methyl. Meth is the carbon root name same and here one carbon is less. That's why suffix "il" we are using and that's why the name of this alkyl group is known as methyl. CH3 methyl group. Here names of some alkyl groups are given. CH3, that is a methyl group. CH3CH2 is a ethyl group. CH3CH2 is a propyl group. CH3CH3, that is isopropyl group. Now here one more important thing is given. This is the original alkane and in alkyl group one hydrogen only less than the original alkane. In this way, important alkyl groups are given in this chart. You all see that and try to remember all these things. We learn about what is meant by saturated hydrocarbons. Next, we'll see unsaturated hydrocarbon. These are the hydrocarbons which contain carbon to carbon double bond or carbon-carbon triple bond in their molecule. These are further classified into two types, that is alkenes and alkynes. The carbon compound in which double or triple bonds are present in between the carbon-carbon, then those all type of organic compounds are known as unsaturated hydrocarbon. And depending on the type of double bond or triple bond, those unsaturated hydrocarbons are again divided into alkenes and alkynes. Unsaturated hydrocarbon in which double bond is there, those are known as alkenes, and if triple bond is there, those are known as alkynes. We'll see first type of unsaturated hydrocarbon, that is the alkenes. General formula for that is CnH2n. Suffix "in" we are using. The molecules containing one carbon-carbon double bond are called alkenes. We'll see with example, don't worry about that. In IUPAC system, the name of alkene is derived by replacing suffix "ane" of the corresponding alkane by "ane." Here, one compound is given. The name of that compound is ethane. Why? Because two carbon atoms are there. That's why the carbon root name is eth. And single bond is there. That's why "ane" suffix we are using. Now, next, that is here also two carbon atoms are there. But instead of single bond, double bond is present in between two carbon atoms. That's why the name of compound is ethene. Eth carbon root that is same because two carbon atoms are present in both the compound. But here what single bond is there, that's why suffix "ane" we use. And here double bond is there, that's why we are using suffix "e." In this chart, some alkene groups are given: ethylene, propylene, butene, pentene, like that. Next, second type of unsaturated hydrocarbon, that is the alkynes. General formula for that is CnH2n minus 2. That is, for those alkynes we are using suffix "ine." Alkynes are unsaturated hydrocarbons with a triple bond between carbon-carbon atom. Alkynes are named in the same way as alkenes by replacing suffix "ane" of alkane by "ine." Here some alkyne groups are given: acetylene, propene, butene. These are all are the examples of alkyne group. Here two carbon atoms are there, but instead of double bond, triple bond is there. That's why the name of this compound is acetylene. Second compound, three carbon atoms are there, but triple bond is there. That's why prop is a carbon root name and "ine" is a suffix. That's why propyne is the name of this compound. In this way, you can see how the naming of this different compound is given. How many number of carbon atoms and triple bond is there. That's why the carbon root name is here given and suffix we are using, that is a "ine" everywhere, because triple bond is present in all these compounds. Next, that is alkyl halides. General formula for alkyl halide, that is CnH2n plus 1 and X or RAX. X symbol we are using to represent the halide, and this remaining group we are using to show the alkyl group. In short, for alkyl group we are using R also, and this X denotes the halide group. That's why in short we are using RAX symbol to represent the alkyl halide. And prefix for alkyl halide we are using, that is a halo. How to use this we'll see. These are obtained from alkanes by the replacement of one or more hydrogen atoms by halogen atoms. RH is alkyl halide. Now here, when this hydrogen is replaced from any alkane by halide group, then we are saying this is a alkyl halide. This is a alkane. From alkane we replace hydrogen by halogen. Then the formed compound is known as a alkyl halide. How many types of halogens are there? 4. Fluorine, chlorine, bromine, iodine. When in any carbon compound that hydrogen is replaced by these halogens, then we are saying those are the alkyl halides. Next, that is alcohols. General formula for alcohol is CnH2n plus 1 OH. OH is a hydroxyl group. For this collectively we are saying alkyl group, and R we are using to show that alkyl group. That's why ROH is the symbol we are using or formula we are using to represent the alcohols. Functional group OH is present in these compounds. That's why suffix "ol" we are using. These are derived by replacing one hydrogen atom from an alkane by one hydroxyl group. The organic compound which is known as alkane, from that alkane one hydrogen is replaced by this hydroxyl group. For those compounds we are saying alcohols. That's why see here formula for that compound. What is the formula for alkane? CnH2n plus 2, but here one hydrogen is removed by OH. That's why instead of 2 here 1 is there, and that one hydrogen is replaced by OH. In IUPAC system, these are called alkenols and their names have been derived by changing E of corresponding alkane by ol. Here alkane, from that what we are doing? We are minus E and plus ol. We remove this E and attach their OL, and the whole name of that compound is alkanol. Here some alkane and their alcohols are given. Hydrocarbon ethane, this is a ethane. Now here 2 carbon atoms are there and 6 hydrogen atoms are there. Now what is meant by alcohols? One hydrogen is replaced by OH group from alkane. Those are nothing but the alcohols. We know that, just learned. Here 6 hydrogen atoms are there. From that, one hydrogen is replaced by this hydroxyl group. That's why the name of this compound is ethanol. Now what is the formula for this compound? CH3CH2OH. Here 3 carbon atoms are there. Single bond is there. That's why the name of compound is propane. From these all hydrogen atoms, one hydrogen is replaced by OH. That's why the name of that compound is a propanol. Same like that, butane. From that, one hydrogen is replaced by OH group. That's why the name of compound is a butanol. Next, ethers. General formula for ether is a CnH2n plus 1 OCnH2n plus 1. Now functional group for ether we are using, that is dash O dash, and for those suffix we are using all. These are derived from alkanes by replacing one hydrogen atom by alkoxy group. From any alkane, one hydrogen is replaced by alkoxy group, that is nothing but that OR group. For example, methoxy. OCH2 is a name of methoxy group. Ethoxy, that is OC2H5, is known as ethoxy. Here one compound is given in which 2 carbon atoms are there, and this is a methyl group, this is also methyl group, and those both the methyl groups are connected with oxygen, and the name of this compound is a methoxymethane. This is also methyl group, this is also methyl group. Whenever giving name to ether, which prefixes, suffixes will use, we'll see during the time of giving name of organic compound. Next, that is aldehydes. General formula for aldehyde is a CnH2n plus 1 CHO, where N can be 0 also, HCHO. Now here N means what? These are the number of carbon atoms, and sometimes in aldehydes number of carbon atoms are 0 also. For example, this one, that is HCHO, which is known as formaldehyde, and the functional group in aldehyde is a CHO, and for aldehydes we are using suffix al. These compounds are obtained by replacing a hydrogen atom attached to the terminal carbon atom in alkane molecule by an aldehydic CHO group. The first member is, however, obtained by replacing a hydrogen atom in the hydrogen molecule. Aldehydes, these are called alkanals in the IUPAC system of nomenclature, and the names of individual members are derived by changing E of corresponding alkane by al. Here name of compound is alkane, from that we removing E and instead of that we attach al. That's why the aldehyde group containing compounds are known as alkanal. Next important functional group, that is a ketones, and the general formula for ketones are CnH2n plus 1 CO CnH2n plus 1. Here CO is a keto group we are saying, and the compound in which keto group is present, those are known as ketones, and the organic compound in which keto group is there, for those we are using suffix on. These are obtained by replacing 2 hydrogen atoms attached to the non-terminal carbon atom in alkane molecule by a divalent oxygen atom. Thus, the functional group called ketonic group contains a carbon atom joined to the oxygen atom by double bond. The names of individual members are derived by replacing E of the corresponding alkane by on. Here name of compound is alkane, then what we are doing, we are removing this E and instead of that we are adding on, and the name of compound in which ketone group is there, those are known as alkanone. Next, that is carboxylic acid. This is also one example of functional group, and the general formula for that is CnH2n plus 1 COOH. Functional group, that is a COOH, carboxylic group, and the compound in which carboxylic group is there, for them we are using suffix oic acid. In this compound, one hydrogen atom in alkane molecule is replaced by carboxyl group. From any alkane, one hydrogen atom is replaced by this carboxyl group. And the first member is however obtained by replacing a hydrogen atom in the hydrogen molecule. In the IUPAC system, they are named by replacing the terminal E of the corresponding alkane by oic acid. Whenever we are giving the name of these compounds, from alkane we are removing E, and here we attach oic acid, and that's why the compound in which carboxylic group is there, those are named as alkanoic acid. Next, that is amines. This is also important functional group, and the general formula for that is CnH2n plus 1 NH2. NH2 is a functional group, and the compound in which NH2 functional group is there, for them we are using suffix amine. These are the alkyl derivatives of ammonia, and they are formed by replacing 1, 2 or all 3 hydrogen atoms in ammonia with alkyl radicals. In IUPAC, the name is derived by replacing E of alkane by amine. Alkane, we are removing this E and adding amine there, and that's why the name of compound is alkanamine. The organic compound in which functional group amines are there, those are named as alkanamine. Here some examples of common amines are given. Methylamine, that is CH3NH2. Dimethylamine, 2 methyl groups are there, that's why dimethyl, and amine group is there, that's why dimethylamine. These are some different examples of amines. Now we learn about what is meant by hydrocarbons, different types of hydrocarbons. How to use different suffixes and prefixes. By using those different suffixes and prefixes, how to give the naming of compound by IUPAC nomenclature, we'll see next. Now what is meant by IUPAC? International Union of Pure and Applied Chemistry. This is one union of chemistry, and whenever we are giving name to any compound, we are using some rules which are decided by them, and according to those rules we are giving name for any carbon compound or any hydrocarbons, because these names are universal. Now which are those rules? We'll see one by one. First, that is whenever any compound is in front of us, what we are doing? First rule, that is a longest chain. We are finding the longest chain from that compound. Determine the longest continuous, not necessarily straight chain of carbon atom. For example, this compound is given. No need to find out only the longest chain. We can also find out this like also or straight also. Not necessarily it will be straight on. Okay. Now we draw or we find this longest carbon chain. See how many carbon atoms in that? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Now if 6 carbon atoms are there, means what is the carbon root name? Hex. Second step, find out how many type of bonds are present in between these carbon atoms. Single bond is there, and that's why the name of basic name is a hexane. Hex and single bond, that's why in hexane. Now second step, which substituents are present in this compound? This substituent. What is meant by substituent? The group which is present outside the carbon root chain. This group is present outside this carbon root chain. That's why this is known as a substituent. And this substituent is a methyl. That's why name of substituent we are writing before the main name. That's why methyl hexane is the name of this compound. The base name corresponding the number of carbon atoms in longest chain, and the full name for alkane will include the names of any branches. Initially, we are giving name to the main branch, main chain of carbon compound, and then we observe the substituent. That's why the name of main or the main name of this compound is hexane, and the name of substituent, that is methyl. That's why the whole name of compound is methyl hexane or methyl hexane. Now second rule, that is the position of the substituent, where it substituent located. What is the position of that substituent? We'll see. The number of carbon atom in the parent chain as 1, 2, 3, etc. starting from the end, which gives the lower number to the carbon atom carrying the substituent, always number from the end of the longest chain closest to the first branch. Here see, in this compound 5 carbon atoms are there and substituent is attached to this carbon atom. Here also 5 carbon atoms are there, substituent is attached to this. Both the compounds are same, but the naming or numbering in which compound is correct, we'll see. Here we are numbering giving from the left 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and substituent attached to 4th carbon atom. Here we are giving numbering from the right side and substituent is attached to 2nd carbon atom. But this one is the correct. Why? Because rules tell us that we should give the numbering of carbon atom from that side where substituent is near. Now here from right side, substituent is attached to 2nd carbon atom. But here in this compound, if we start to counting from left, the substituent is attached to 4th carbon atom. That's why this is the correct method to give the numbering of carbon atom. In short, what we need to remember, that start giving numbering to the carbon atom from that side where substituent is near. The number that indicates the position of the substituent is called locant, where substituent of that compound is attached to that carbon atom, that is known as a locant. Third rule, see, lowest set of locant rule. When 2 or more substituent are present, then end of the parent chain which gives the lowest set of locant is preferred for numbering. Number the chain so as to give the lowest number possible to the functional group, followed by double bond, triple bond and finally the substituent. Whenever we are giving naming to the compound, we need to prioritize the thing. Which thing we need to observe first? First what we are doing, we are counting number of carbon atoms, then we observe number of bonds or type of bonds present in that compound. Next to that, we need to observe which functional group is there and from which side it is nearer. We need to count carbon atoms from that side where functional groups are there. If functional group is not there, then see, double bond is where or near to which carbon atom, from left side or from right side. If double bond is not there, then third, see, triple bond, where it is near from right side or from left side. And if triple bond is not there, then see the substituent. The substituent are near from which side, right or left side, and according to that start to giving numbering to the carbon atom. Means when we are numbering to the carbon atom, we should prioritize the things. First observe the functional group, then double bond, then triple bond and then substituent. Means these groups present from which side, from that side you should start to give the numbering for carbon atom. Consider an example. See here, COOH, CH, CH, CH2, CH2, CH. This is one compound. Now we don't know anything. Then how to give the naming of this compound? See. So in the above compound, numbering is possible as here 2. Whenever we are giving name to the compound, we confuse from where to start giving the numbering to carbon atom. Here In set 1 what is given? Started to giving numbering from this side, COH, first carbon, second, third, fourth, fifth, like that. And in set 2 what they did? They started to give numbering from this carbon atom. But which one is correct? See, just we learn, whenever we are giving numbering to carbon atom, first we need to observe functional group, then double bond, then triple bond, and then substitute. Now here functional group is at left side. That's why start to giving numbering from functional group only. That's why this set first is the correct for giving the numbering of carbon atom. Here if we started from this side, means we are started from substituent, but the priority of substituent is last. First we should observe the functional group and start to giving numbering of carbon atom from that side only. So which one is the correct numbering according to the above rule in above example? If you notice in the above example in set 1, the functional group is COH and it has a carbon in it. In such a case, the carbon of the functional group always gets the position number 1. Let's write over that. What if the same functional group exists twice in a chain? अब हमें ये तो पता चला, if functional group is there, we need to start from that carbon atom. But if functional group is present twice in a compound, then how to start giving the numbering in that compound for carbon, we'll see. Here, irrespective of the end you start from, you get the same position number both ways. Please be careful not to number the oxygen in the functional group. You only have to number the carbon atoms in the chain. Hence the compound is butane 1,4-diol. How to the name of this compound is butane 1,4-diol C. How many number of carbon atoms are there? 1, 2, 3, 4. That's why the carbon root name is a but. Only single bond is there. That's why plus N. And this OH group, that is functional group, present on both the side first and fourth carbon atom. That's why 1, 4, which are known as locant. And diol, di means 2, and 2 hydroxyl group, that's why ol. And that's why the name of compound is butane 1,4-diol. I hope you must have understood the name of this compound, how the name is given. Note the position number of each of the functional group is expressed by position number of C atom to which it is attached, and it is known as a locant. The locant are separated from each other by commas. When any functional group is attached to any carbon atom, those are known as locant. And if same functional group is attached, to show them, we are using comma in between them. Same like that, how we use that 1, 4. Here same functional groups are present or attached to the carbon number 1 and 4. But we are differentiate those numbers by using comma in between them. Now see one more example. Here one compound is given. Now how to give the naming of this compound? Let us try the naming the compound which we had taken as an example. Here COH is a functional group which is known as carboxyl function group. Now from where to start giving numbering? From functional group obviously. That's why first, second, third, fourth, fifth. How many number of carbon atoms? 5. That's why the main name, that is pent, and double bond is there. That's why in. But where is double bond? Double bond is present at second carbon atom. That's why pent 2 in we are writing. And chlorine is substituent. We know that substituent we are writing as a prefix, and this chloro substituent is attached to the 5th carbon atom. That's why we need to mention the position also. That's why 5-chloro pent 2-ene. Next, functional group we are using as a suffix. Here COH functional group is there, that is present attached as first carbon atom. That's why 1. And for that functional group, oic acid suffix we are using. That's why the name of this whole compound is 5-fluoropent 2 in 1-oic acid. Next, see what if different substituents are present in equivalent position. We know that we are starting giving numbering to carbon atom where substituents are near, but if different types of substituent are present on equivalent position, from this side also on second or third, from this side also from second or third carbon atom, then how to give the numbering, we'll see. Option A, that is 3-ethyl 4-methyl hexane. Option B, that is 4-ethyl 3-methyl hexane. Which one is the correct, we'll see. How many number of carbon atoms are present? First we need to check that. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, that's why hex and single bond is there, that's why hexane. Okay, now which two substituents are there? Ethyl and methyl, two substituents are attached. They are attached to which carbon atom? 1, 2, 3. From this side also 1, 2, 3. When confused about substituent, always remember that we consider the alphabetic order. Ethyl and methyl, these are the two alkyl groups. These are two substituents. Now M comings earlier or E comings earlier? Ethyl, of course. That's why we are start giving numbering from that side where ethyl group is nearer. Hence option A is correct. Here 1, 2, 3. Ethyl group is attached to third carbon atom. That's why 3-ethyl 4-methyl hexane. That's why option A is correct for giving the numbering. Next we'll see how to give the naming for compound in which more than one functional group is there. In a class of students, one student is elected as a leader while the others are to follow. Similarly, when more than one functional group are present, one functional group is chosen as the principal functional group, written as suffix, while the other are regarded as substituent, written as a prefix. If two functional groups are there, we are choosing one of them as a main principal functional group and second functional group we are using as a substituent. Now how do we decide the principal functional group? Now we know that we decided one we are taking as a functional group which is known as principal functional group, and we are considered as a substituent. But how to decide that? To remove any confusion, the functional group are arranged in a preference series as follows. Here one preference series is given. According to that we are deciding that which one is a principal functional group and which considered as a substituent. Carboxylic acid is greater than sulfuric acid, which is greater than anhydric, which is greater than ester, which is greater than acid, which is greater than acidamide. These are different types of functional group, and here the groups are arranged according to their preferences, and the groups which are coming at starting, those we are taking as a principal functional group, and which are coming at the end, they are taking as a substituent. The group higher in preferences series is written as a suffix, while the one lower to it would be written as a prefix. Here some name of functional groups are given, which prefixes we are using to that and which suffixes we are using to that also given. Once you go through it and try to give the naming of different compounds. If you practice more and more, it will easy to give the naming of different compounds. Still, if you have any query, any doubt during the giving naming of organic compound by IUPAC nomenclature, please give comment in the comment box. I hope you all must have understood how to do the naming of organic compounds. In this class, we learn about what is meant by hydrocarbons, what is meant by organic compound, different types of hydrocarbons, as well as how to use different suffixes, prefixes during the giving naming of different organic compounds by using IUPAC nomenclature, and different rules which we are used to give the naming of organic compound.